Welcome back to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast, where we talk about the best show on streaming, Warrior, Season 3, Episode 10. It's the season finale, folks. Buckle up. Welcome back, everybody. We are talking Warrior Season 3 finale episode, and what a finale it was. Cheers to my fellow nerds.
Oh, cheers.
Jude and Matt Vader are here as
Another
always.
successful season.
Another successful season. And Matt Kadish is over here producing the show. What's up, dude?
So, in my list of best season finales I've ever seen of any TV show, this ranks right up there.
Wow.
I
Do
can,
you think that this was so good because they were like, are we going to get a season 4? Let's just fuck it up.
They were just like, we can fuck some. Yeah. We can fuck some.
but, well, I mean, legitimately, this episode was the climax of this entire season. Like everything that they had set up earlier in the season paid off in this episode.
They paid off some shit from season 2 in this.
In season 1.
Yeah.
There's stuff from season 3 that they paid off that I forgot about.
Uh-huh.
and like I can remember watching this episode, and by the end of it, I was just like blown away. I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy crap!"
And you watched this ahead of all of
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been
Yeah.
holding on
Did
to
you
this for like
rewatch it?
2 weeks.
I did rewatch it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I was going to say, I only watched it once, but I'm like, I wonder if Kadish rewatched it since last week.
So I rewatched it right before we started recording.
Okay.
Aw.
But there's a scene in particular that we'll get to in this episode that has been building up since the first episode of the series, and boy, did it pay off!
Mhm.
Like, wow, it was one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen on this show.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. Season 3, Episode 10, A Window of Fucking Opportunity. Strickland really needs to bump up home security. Everybody be coming to kill him tonight, and they're all bringing hell with them. Same shit, new chief. Bill's cleaning up the mess Leary's fists left behind in the Banshee. And just when Bill thinks he's out and walking on sunshine, Leary brings him back into the dark side, coercing him into disposing of Strickland's body in the fires of Cement Mountain. Mr. and almost Mrs. Mayor, who's still not a ginger, by the way, take a walk about town where he pops the question, but it turns out she's a no-good, brown-haired, dirty liar who's plotting something, and that's what you get when you don't fuck with redheads. The Dick Squad tells Bill about their plan to regain the counterfeit plates, and Bill has to inform the mayor. Buckley, pissed off about finding out about Myling's side hustle from the police, tells her he's shutting down her operation just as Assam leads the Dick Squad to the ice factory to get the plates. There's a shit ton of Long Z and Hopway in the hall. The Dick Squad just walked in, and happy fucking Isaac just showed up to fuck this up even more. Assam delivers the plates, but Isaac's man has itchy fingers and a shootout ensues. Just as Assam concludes his deal with Lee, a bull knocks him down with a hammer, but Hong jumps the cop, saving Assam. Yanmi gets released from jail, and Lee gets released from living a life of dick. After the raid, Bill's in need of a few good men, and Lee just so happens to be several good men. Leary becomes the new Strickland, shaking hands and making deals with an iron fist. Chow's been waiting for Assam to show up, but he's still passed the fuck out. He finally wakes up just as Young Jun is readying his attack on Mai Ling. Young Jun tries to force Assam to stand aside, but Assam chooses the hoe over his bros, and he has to fight his way out of the tong. And Young Jun's not going to have enough men to go after Mai Ling when he's done. When Assam doesn't make it to the train, Chow redeems his double cross by meeting Yanmi and giving her the money Assam asked him to hold, and then runs into an old friend's knife a bunch of times. Young Jun's men show up to sever their relationship with the Long Z, and Mai Ling brought a gun to a knife fight. Assam stumbles across town with a punctured lung, trying to make it to his sister in time, and it looks like Lee Young's starting up his own tongue. Also, Mai Ling has some unfinished business with that blonde bitch. Discuss.
Yeah.
So this episode opens with the closure of that
that blonde duck.
the blonde duck that kind of
Yeah, that
double
was
crossed.
Totally forgot about this chick.
I kept saying,
Yeah.
like, she is not going to let this stand.
Oh,
Yeah.
this was okay. So I remember when this happened, and we were like, "Oh, she's going down for
Mhm.
sure." And then like things happened throughout the season, and it was like such a B plot that I was like, okay, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, forgotten.
We're moving on.
You just kind of forget about it.
We got
right?
bigger fish to fry, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about her.
I forgot
We
about
got
her
Tom
completely.
War.
And then in the opening of this season, I'm like, who's that? Is that Penny? I'm like, no, that's not Penny. Who is that?
That's why I thought at first too. I was like, did they bring Penny back?
No.
They don't bring Penny or
Millisecond,
Sophie
I
back.
was like, oh.
Yeah. And then, when I realized it was her, I was like, oh, shit. I thought for sure that chick was going to die. I'm like, oh, she's going to die. They're going to kill her. They're going to slit her throat. They're going to throw her in the fire. They're going to go tie her husband up. And
I watched this whole episode with my hands over my face.
right? Yeah. And then, what she does is she's like, oh, you're miserable right now, aren't you? You're miserable,
Have
and you're
some
gonna
tea.
live
Here's a
in your
knife.
misery.
Well,
yeah.
Mai Ling's been where that woman was
Yeah.
before. So like she knows exactly what she's going through. And instead of getting revenge, she basically gives that woman a way to kind of like
Be the next crime lord of San Francisco.
Well, no, she's gonna murder her husband and then go to jail. So
Yeah.
either way, Mai Ling wins.
Yeah. You're fucked if you do, you're fucked if you don't.
Yeah, either I'm gonna kill you.
You can look forward to a life of syphilis.
Syphilis.
How did that come up? We're making jokes about syphilis. I don't know what's going on.
Instead of going sibilance to check his
testing
mic,
my
he was
joke.
saying syphilis.
Testing.
No context jokes.
Syphilis.
Yeah, that was a wild opening. I did not see that coming. I completely forgot about this chick, and then what she actually did versus what I thought she was going to do, totally different things. So I was very surprised, very thrown off skew on this opening scene. So great job.
This show
it
knows
made
exactly
sense.
how to subvert your expectations.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm
in a good way.
yeah, like normally I'd be like, oh, she should have killed him. Like that's normally her character, but I'm like, no, you know what?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's
Dark.
darker.
It's darker. Yeah. So I liked it. The next, can we talk about Strickland? Can we just get his
Yes.
chunk out of the way?
Yes.
Because I'm not going to be able to concentrate unless I talk about what happens to Strickland.
Yeah.
So the lesbians get angry,
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they go to
and they go. So we got
seek
Lady
some vengeance.
Davenport.
Yeah.
Lady Davenport with a lever action and a toy with her sword.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, let's just go take care of business.
Yeah.
And they go there together. And I like that you mentioned.
Lesbian justice.
Lesbian justice. Let's go.
I like that you mentioned this in your synopsis. Like, why is Strickland not upping his freaking security?
Right.
I know, right?
This
He
dude's
thinks
just,
he's untouchable.
he's just in his house, like, sipping on champagne.
I've got
like,
my
everything's
sword
fine.
hanging over
He's
the
like,
fireplace.
By the way, I'm the best at swords.
So I need to point this out. So the actor who plays Strickland, Adam Rayner, the entire season I've been like racking my brain because I'm like, this guy looks so familiar. I know him from something. So he was the lead actor in this FX show called Tyrant. And so like when I was watching this episode, it suddenly dawned on me. I was like, that's where I know him from.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
like,
okay. I
Like,
haven't seen
it's
that.
been bothering me all season.
You could have just looked it up on IMDb.
I could have, but like,
Well, what's the fun in that?
Yeah. Is this
Let's guess and look dumb.
technology?
but what's great about this scene is so like originally Davenport shows up and Strickland's like, this woman's gonna try to shoot me.
Yeah.
Like he's just like he doesn't even take her seriously.
Yeah.
And then he sees a toy and he sees her with the sword and he's like, oh, this is interesting. And then the minute that they engage, the look on his face when a toy just starts like
Dude.
dissecting him,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's so surprised.
Okay.
He's like, what the hell's going on
Yeah.
here?
He thought he was going to have a fun ass night.
Right. I don't know if I'm thrilled about this or kind of upset because I wanted like a knockdown, drag out fight between him and a toy,
when
right?
When she ends it, I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be dope. And then the toy just dismantles this dude, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh, that's how this is gonna go.
And I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious though that everybody was coming tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
Leary's
he
in
was
the back.
dead. He was
Yeah.
dead one way or another.
Well,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna get Strickland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right before this scene, there's a great scene with Bill and his police squad in Leary's bar.
Yeah.
And they see the guy that Leary like curb stomped. He's like literally got no face. And one of the guys like, I think that's this guy used to be on the force. And Bill's like, holy shit, you're right. but it's so funny because basically like Bill kind of puts together that someone put out a hit on Leary. And he's like, I got to find Leary.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow he knows to go to Davenport's place and teleports there, even though Leary had who knows how long of a head
You
start.
mean Strickland's place?
Yeah,
Strickland's
Strickland's
place,
place. Yeah. So like Bill fast travels to Strickland's place because somehow he knows he's going there.
Yeah.
Well, Leary's probably walking, and Bill probably took a carriage.
A carriage?
He's the chief.
Why don't they use horses more often in this show?
I
The only time-
didn't see any carriage. Bill just kind of shows up in front of
He just
Leary.
boom, and he's like, he beats him there,
You know
right?
what? It's
That
one of
didn't
those
bother
things.
me.
It's one of those things that you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
It
with the
didn't.
flow, man.
It's
Gotta
interesting
go with
though. I didn't really think about it until you said that. I'm like, oh yeah, he was at the bar. He saw the dead bodies, and he went, oh, I know exactly where to go. Strickland's house.
Yeah. Well, he just blew up
Go ahead.
Strickland's bridge.
Go ahead, V.
No, it's a fucking Kadish being all nitpicky again.
No, you're not wrong though, because like, okay, so Bill knows that Leary blew up the bridge, and that's Strickland's bridge, and then Strickland
And he
sends
made
guys.
that big fuss in the middle of white guy luncheon.
Right, yeah, and Bill obviously he's the chief. He's like, okay, 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
These are the guys that Strickland sent to even the odds with Leary.
Yeah.
And now Leary's going to go to Strickland's. He connected the
It
dots.
wasn't hard because they were like, well, who's got a big enough dick that all these guys would want to work for him?
Right.
Strickland.
Yeah. And so like when Bill stops Leary, like he's about to get into it with Leary because he's like, you wanted me to be police chief. And then Leary's like, what in the world could that be? and like they see all of Strickland's security is like dead. And they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And so they go inside, and for the first time, Bill sees Autoy, and now he knows who the actual sword killer is.
The San Francisco Dicer or whatever we call her.
Yeah. So like that was an interesting reveal because you could see it on Bill's face. Like, as soon as he saw her, he was like, oh,
He was like, you?
That's the lady that's been chopping people up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're just a girl.
But yeah, those women can't do that. Those
Yeah.
lesbians.
And it's so funny, like when Davenport opens fire on them so that they can escape, you just hear Bill go like, Jesus fucking Christ. he's so like, as you know, like I'm the chief of police. My nights aren't supposed to be going like this.
Yeah.
Real quick, I know I'm backstepping a little bit, but like just the fight between Autoy and Strickland, I had so much fun watching it, but at the same time, I'm like, I expected more out of Strickland for some reason. Because him versus Lai, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna be.
Well, that goes to show you how much better a toy is than
and
Lai.
She's not 100%.
And she's going in with no nonsense. She's like, you're gonna die tonight, and
in a very painful and brutal
Kind
way.
of wanted a toy backstory, like a full.
oh, like back in China backstory.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
Like
Oh, yeah.
her learning how to be.
Ren
this.
Ishii style. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to you to make
Yeah.
you such a savage?
She got kidnapped by a sword fighting monastery when she was a young child.
That's possible.
And raised in
Because Lai came from the same place,
with the
right?
blade. Yeah,
Mhm.
probably
Yeah.
something. I don't know. Something about her village being raised in a bunch of
Okay, Pie Man.
sword
Can we
fighters.
get Olivia to do a prequel? Can we get Olivia to do a prequel?
I don't know. Why did you ask Vader?
They could probably wrap it up like a 20-minute flashback,
Yeah,
like
20 minutes?
like they did with Lai and Awesome.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's right. That we did have a flashback with Awesome, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I forgot about that too.
There's a lot of old men in China
So much happening.
going and finding children to teach their kung fu ways.
Let me show you how to massacre people. Okay.
Yeah, but Autoy, she wasn't like Lai. She was basically, I'm going in there, I'm killing them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like she didn't waste any time.
Yeah.
No.
We're gonna burn the mansion
And
down. That's what they
making
should have done.
sure he's dead.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
She sliced him up. She like cut his Achilles tendon.
Yeah, and Nellie's like, "All right, it's done." She's like, "No,
No, she slashed his
Yeah,
throat.
he slashed his throat.
Mhm.
And then
And he's
after
choking on his blood.
and then she stabbed him on the
And then she
freaking ground.
twisted
And then she
it.
twisted it. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's pretty gnarly.
No amount of money is gonna bring you back from that, man. We'll get there. So Bill and Leary. This pissed me off. I was mad at Bill this episode.
Why?"
Because what the fuck, Bill? You're gonna go down that rabbit hole already. You're like day 2 on the chief job, and you're like burning bodies at a foundry. Come
Listen,
on.
Well,
Just
no,
because you declare yourself on the side of light,
He's
if
still
no
there.
one taught you how to stay there, you're going back to the dark side.
but so like he is loyal to Leary. Like Leary is like the guy who's always been running Bill.
Plus, they're both Irish.
Yeah, they're both
but,
Irish.
but I love that the payoff was the cement, his brother-in-law's cement
Yeah,
factory.
yeah.
Like that's where they're disposing of the bodies
And
now.
Leary takes his ring.
Yeah. He's like, it's not worth anything to anybody else, but it's worth something to me.
Is it
but
like a ring he uses to get into the club or something?
I don't know what that ring is for.
I
He mentioned
assumed
it. He
that,
said
yeah.
something about it coming from his mentor or something like that. I'd have to go back and watch that episode where
Yeah, I
Strickland
think
was
it's
talking
like
about it.
we're all Freemasons or something.
It was a ring
Oh.
that had no value though. Like it wasn't like made of like anything
Yeah, it was
special. It was just, there. But like it symbolized something to Strickland.
Yeah.
And therefore like Leary now takes that ring and it's like symbolic.
Yeah.
Right.
My-
It's like the same thing as like you walk into a place and you have a handshake. If
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
do it, you belong there.
Okay. My problem with this wasn't necessarily the loyalty to Leary that he has. It was Leary's argument. Because he's the chief of police.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, he saw the murder.
Yeah.
He knows if he wanted to try and cover up a toy, he could have been like, a Chinese assassin did this to Strickland.
Sure.
Leary would not have had to have been involved at all. And Leary's like, if they're going to catch this guy, they're going to pin it on me. And I'm like, no, they're not. He saw the person who murdered.
You did just kill 5 of his men.
It's fine. It's blame it on the Chinese person. It's just like, I just did not understand.
Blame everything on a Chinese person for the whole show.
And you can get away with that as far as Bill's concerned.
It's all about politics.
Yeah, I feel like Leary knew that like the people that he pissed off politically would be the ones who would like put pressure to frame him.
Yeah.
So like this was just him covering his butt.
But okay, sure, maybe, but just ghosting Strickland completely with no body, no trace, no nothing. And he mentions like this
no body, no crime.
No body, no crime. He's like, there's gonna be a lot of questions about this. And he's like, well, it sounds like something the chief police could handle. And I'm like, he could have handled it before. The logic
it's literally
behind
his
this,
second day on the job.
The logic behind Leary's argument specifically was like, what? But that's it. I mean, I was just like, I think they could have gotten away with it. They had the killer. If he wanted to name names, he could have said a toy. If they wanted to just say, I saw a person in a robe, obviously of Chinese descent, kill this guy with a sword, they could have blamed it on them, and Leary would have been in the clear. So
you know that rich white lady, Nellie? She had a gun.
Well,
yeah.
But you know what's funny is like Leary was literally going there to kill the guy.
Yeah.
So like he would have been in that situation anyway.
Right. If he had never shown up to kill Strickland, he still would have gotten blamed for it. Bill just would have been like, oh, I got here too late.
He would have had at least he has an alibi right now. Like Bill can be his alibi. He was with me.
Yeah.
I found him before he got there. I stopped him. We're good. It's these people's fault.
No, I found him at that, I don't know, other bar.
Yeah.
But Bill can't go tell everybody who did it because then they'll just kill him. He knows this. That's how it rolls.
Oh, man. It's a complicated situation.
It's complicated.
This is why I'm not in the mob. I would probably die.
Yeah.
I'd be too honest. I'd be like, that guy did it. Okay,
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah, snitches get. I don't snitch on people. Except for Vader. I'll snitch on him in a heartbeat.
It's nice. Thanks, man.
Hey, bros before hoes.
Yeah.
You don't know the code, apparently.
You don't know the code either, man.
Yeah.
Where were you on Monday?
Right.
Monday.
We all went to the movies.
And you weren't there.
Oh, I need some alone time.
Yeah. Alone time with all the 70-year-olds.
Oh my God.
Went to the movies.
That's a story for behind the scenes. But Jesus.
All right, anyway, what happens next?
So we get to see Buckley with his not a ginger.
Mm-hmm.
And Buckley is so happy because now he's mayor. He's met the woman of his dreams. He proposes. And then we find out that not a ginger is not very nice.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, of course I'll marry you.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna take this man for all his money, sucking another dick.
She's a goddamn gold digger.
It's her song, not mine.
She's a goddamn gold digger.
yeah,
man.
and it turns out that Buckley's mini-me has been the mastermind behind this arrangement the entire time. And he's been getting his side piece to kind of like swoop in there, wrap Buckley around her little finger. And now they're going to go after his money.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking conniving.
Should have stuck with the ginger prostitutes.
Speaking of, nothing.
Well, we have not found any bodies. We cannot confirm nor deny that he was killing those women.
No information whatsoever on the ginger bodies.
However, I haven't seen a single red prostitute since then.
Since that episode.
We need to grow some more.
Yeah, I think San Francisco's running a little low on gingers. Yeah, I need closure on that storyline if we're going to get to season 4.
I so wanted her to like pull off a brown wig and shake out some red locks. And I'd be like,
What's up, V?
It's my least favorite part of the whole show.
The Buckley thing?
The whole Buckley thing. So I don't like rooting for people I hate.
Right, yeah.
Okay? Buckley's supposed to be
good
the big...
luck with this show.
Like, to me, he's like the big
He's
bad.
the bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
Right?
Of all the shitty people in this show, and they're all shitty people.
Mhm.
Okay?
Granted.
He's the shittiest.
Right.
And so I can make him the big bad. So when JT makes me root for Buckley, I'm a little bit annoyed about it. All right. It really annoys me because I want Buckley to like be drawn and quartered. I want him to like be in the middle of Chinatown.
You want him to lose.
I want him to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit. I can't stand him. And this goes into like some Days of Our Lives level.
No,
Yo,
you think
it
so?
Totally does.
Really?
Yeah. I don't.
Buckley's love of his life.
Too soap opera. It's just political manipulation. for money. There's no kung fu. There's none of that stuff. You know.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's too soap opera and not enough.
But what do you think the consequences of that would
Warrior for
be? So
I don't know.
who's Buckley going to call on for help?
I don't care.
My Ling.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
My Ling. He's going to be like, listen, if and when he
I guess
finds
if you
out.
put it that way, I guess we'll find out maybe if we get to season 4.
Yeah, maybe if we get season 4.
But the way this ended, it's just soap opera, and I'm not super into it. I know,
Okay.
and I know this is a drama.
Turns
soap
out
opera
that was
show.
her evil twin.
Now that would be like, okay.
But yeah, it's fine. It's just. It just wasn't my kind of story, and I don't like having people that I hate become people that I sympathize and empathize with. Like, can you imagine watching Game of Thrones and all of a sudden Cersei is like somebody you feel bad for?
They did that all the time in that show.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
I never felt sorry.
Tyrion
for
Lannister and Jamie Lannister. Jamie especially.
you know,
Jamie
when-
flip-flopped back and forth like 4
Well,
times
I'm
in
not-
that show.
I'm talking about like when that
Olenna
bitch
Tyrell killed a child.
when that bitch was getting paraded through the city and shit getting thrown at her. Shame. I was laughing. It's like she deserves every bit of that shit.
Sure, yeah.
And
but then
it's like-
afterwards, you're like, I hope she burns the city down.
Well, but
At least I was.
I never empathized for her. I never felt sympathy for her. I feel sympathy for fucking Buckley.
Because he's getting cheated on.
Because it annoys me. And I don't want to feel that way. You know what I mean?
the writers behind the show are just like,
Maybe. But
feel manipulated.
I mean, if that was the main story of the show, I'd probably be like, whatever.
Listen,
Don't
I'm
care.
not here for Buckley's love life.
Right.
I'm here for
No.
the fighting and Assam and
Yeah.
the tongs. But a Buckley a little side thing with Buckley, yeah, cool, throw it in there.
Mhm.
Because I do want to see if and when we get a continuation of the story, when Buckley finds out, I expect to see full-blown Buckley. Like Buckley from season 1 Buckley.
You mean
know what I
go
mean?
full Buckley?
Never go full Buckley.
Yeah.
Never go full Buckley. Yeah.
Like manipulation and backhanded deals and like getting my Ling back in power. I want to see Buckley be like on the revenge. Like, if you're going to do this to a character that I don't already like and you're going to make me sympathize with him, there better be like a wave of, yes, freaking Buckley's kicking ass. Like, I want to see the payoff to that.
I want his artificial limb to turn out to be like an automatic weapon, like in Planet Terror. And he just like walks into a bar and he's just like,
I'm like, this sounds like some Quentin
like a
Tarantino shit.
Tommy gun.
Robert Rodriguez directs an episode of Warrior.
Yes. I'm here for that. Can we have that?
Hard pass. Hard pass. Oh, poor Buckley. Not a ginger, man. Didn't see that coming.
All right. So after Buckley's little marriage proposal, we've got the Dick Squad coming in hard.
Yep.
No pun intended.
Yes, you did. You intended.
That was just say pun intended.
They walk into Big Bill's office and they're like, okay, the sting is ready to go. And Bill lets it drop that Buckley, he has to report this sting to Buckley, but Buckley likes to keep them out of Long Z territory. And that rings Big Dick Lee's alarm bells a little bit. Not quite full blown
His little
yet.
Spidey dick sense.
Yeah. His dick sense starts tingling. And but the other guy, what's the other Secret Service guy? Mosley. So Mosley's like to Bill, he's like, I already like you more than Kevin Spacey. So,
It was not hard to do.
Not hard to
The
do.
bar was
That
very
guy
low.
is super unlikable.
yeah, and so this leads us to the big Mexican showdown at the ice factory, where basically all these different factions are converging. So you have the Happy Isaac gang, formerly known as Happy Jack gang. You have the Long Z and the Hopway. You have the Dick Squad, backed by the Chinatown Squad. And I want to say that there's like one more.
Well,
faction
Hong
involved.
and Assam are there and
Yeah.
kind of like in the crossfires.
They're the Hopway representation.
Yeah. So Awesome goes there, and basically because Yanmi is in jail and didn't show up, Hong is there with like this other guy who's been training in the Predator, and he's like, "Hey, this guy's really good." And then as soon as the guy like leaves, he's like, "I was just saying that because I didn't want to hurt his
I
feelings."
love Hong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hong's like, he has such aspirations to do so well, and I didn't want to squash that.
Yeah.
Hong breaks my heart a little bit a little later.
And then when Awesome starts, getting like all the plates and stuff like that, Hong's like, like Yanmi never showed up today. And Awesome's like, I told her not to come in. And he's like, oh my God, did you guys have a fight? Are you okay?
No.
Did you break up? it's
She's
just
like, every couple fights. Every couple fights.
Yeah,
I just had a fight with my boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Like Hong is just like totally like not on the same level of like awareness of like what's going on.
And Assam is just like, get out of here.
And then when they try to escape with the plates, that's when we have the big Mexican standoff between all the different factions. And this scene was like so fucking tense.
Yeah. It's itchy fingers.
Yeah. I don't know. It played out the way I thought it kind of would.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this makes sense. Everything's kind of converging. Gotcha. Cool. Assam's trying to get out of there with the plates to hand it over to the Dick Squad. He eventually does.
Yeah.
And he gets like blindsided by some random cop somewhere.
Yeah,
And
some
it's
bull.
his
Well,
face.
they set that up earlier because Big Dick Lee says like take some men, try to find any other way out of this place to cover it. I feel like there was some stuff cut out because the cop that clocked Awesome was also kind of like bloody and beat up. So I'm guessing that there was some stuff with Han that like, he was fighting with, the bulls that were covering that exit that maybe didn't make it into the final edit of this episode because he did just kind of like come out of nowhere, but it was set up earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he was like, cover all the exits. You go that way. You go that way. So it makes sense that they were there. But yeah, it was a cool scene. Very intense. For a minute, I was actually rooting for the Dick Squad. I'm like, yeah, get those plates, bro. Like they're right there.
Yeah.
Like go get them.
We need that to happen for like other shit that's been set up
right?
to happen.
Yeah. I'm like, please take the plates.
Well, the cool thing is that there was so this is the first time we've seen Awesome fight in like 3 episodes. Like he took like a 3-episode break.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even much of a fight. He was just kind of like hiding behind like, a piece of ice until
he was
like,
trying to get out of there.
Yeah, and he like jump kicks Happy Isaac, and that's pretty much the bulk of the fight. But it's kind of funny because I can see what the writers were doing. Like they were purposefully keeping us from seeing Awesome being awesome until the point where we get to like the big fight scene of this episode. We're not quite there yet, but that just made it so much more impactful for me.
Yeah,
Wait,
they're
you
saving
mean
it.
the giant fight between 3 different gangs in the middle of Chinatown is not the...
It's not the one that we care about.
Nope.
It was funny because I'm watching.
There is more to come.
I'm thinking about, we're talking about this scene, and I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. Then we got more important stuff to talk about. But this is like literally the pinnacle of every setup storyline in this show.
This is the resolution of the counterfeit money storyline.
Yeah.
The major through line for this entire season happens.
The whole time I'm going, where's Leon?
Right?
Right?
Who the fuck is Leon?
God, I missed that guy in this episode.
We've been saying, where's for a couple of
Assam gets clocked on the side of the head. The plates get taken by the Dick Squad, which is yay. Big Dick Lee.
All right, on to the next thing now.
No, on to the next thing.
Well, so Big Dick Lee gets the plates, Awesome delivered. And basically, Big Dick Lee kind of like gives Awesome what the deal was.
Yeah, he releases Yanmi.
Yep.
And like it wouldn't be Big Dick if he didn't feel bad about something in the middle of doing something good. And he's like, I don't know, what is life anyway? And then Mosley's like, you can go.
Well, he's worried about Yanmi's safety after he lets her go and he fulfills his end of the bargain.
I just released her, but she's got a target on her back. There's like 50 people out there that want to kill her now. So I've just released her to her death.
But he held up his end of the bargain.
Yeah, I mean,
good luck.
Yeah, bye.
and then Mosley says, like, I'm gonna, keep up my end of the bargain and get rid of like your murder charge, but would you want to come down and continue being a dick with me?
Yeah.
And Big Dick Lee's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Didn't he say like when he gets back to Washington?
Yeah.
Or
No,
wherever
he said the home office in San Francisco.
No, it's LA.
No.
In LA.
Yeah.
Well,
He's like,
wherever. It's just like,
He's like, you want to go to
it's
LA?
LA.
And he's like, not on your life. And that's what most actors say when somebody asks, do you want to go to LA? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
But
where in LA?
yeah, what part of LA?
Maybe.
Well,
That's like when
you're
people
on
say,
the
do you want to go to
coast.
Vegas? Well, where?
Where are we staying? Off strip? On strip?
Santa Monica? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Big Dick Lee's like, I don't want to do this, which I'm kind of disappointed. I thought what I would have liked to have seen, and it is what it is, it doesn't really matter, but like I would have loved it if they were like, hey, we would like to have a permanent Secret Service member here in San Francisco.
They don't need a counterfeit operation anymore. They got the plates.
Not counterfeit, but like just a Secret Service member who's in charge of like these Tong wars. Like if this guy comes in here, he's like, this
Secret Service doesn't deal with gang wars.
I don't know. The government might want to be involved in this stuff if it's getting bad enough.
If it's not going to be counterfeiting, I have to come up with a new nickname for him.
Oh, that's true.
That's what they do.
You're creative enough. I think we can do it.
How can I make the cunt squad happen?
I'm just saying,
Australians.
I would have liked to have seen Big Dick Lee move forward in the story with the authority of the U.S. government.
I actually think it's better the way that they set this up, which we'll get to when we start wrapping things up. But basically, the whole counterfeit money operation storyline came to a head, and while the whole exchange was going on, it was intercut with Mai Ling meeting with Buckley, and Buckley was like, "Hey, if you had cut me in on this, I could have protected you.
Yeah.
But now I called you here specifically to make sure you weren't caught up in this thing."
He's doing her a favor, and he's teaching her a lesson.
Yeah.
He's like, it would have cost you to loop me in, but I bet it wouldn't have cost you as much as you're losing today.
Yeah.
And
it's a hard lesson.
We got to remember that Mai Ling is a solo operator right now because her right-hand man, Li Yong, is no longer in the picture.
Yeah.
Her husband.
And so
how much control does she have with that?
Yeah, she's very vulnerable.
How fast can you do an annulment? Because I'm pretty sure they annulled that marriage.
Consider this a divorce.
Kill my best friend.
Killed the Iron Chef, man. The chairman.
She made him do it.
Yeah.
Dark.
So basically, after this exchange, Awesome gets knocked out, and Hong brings him back to Hopway headquarters to recuperate. But he was supposed to go and meet Mai Ling, or not Mai Ling, Mi Yong.
Yanmi.
Yeah, sorry.
Printer girl.
And so like once Yanmi gets released from jail, she goes to her father. She's like, "We need to get out of here." And the dad's like, "I'm not going anywhere."
Dude, can we talk about this scene for just a second? Yeah. Like, I want to dwell on this a minute. This was kind of fucked up. This dude is like, "You're no longer my daughter."
Yeah, I abjure you.
Bye-bye. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Your shit.
Man, it made perfect sense to me.
I didn't know if it was like a cultural thing or not. I'm just like,
absolutely a cultural
yeah,
thing.
I'm just like, Jesus fuck, bro. She's your daughter.
Well, also, like, she became a criminal in his eyes.
Yeah.
And she was like the biggest shame that she could have brought to the family.
Not his piece of shit son. That guy's a freak. Remember him? Yeah, the guy, like, he went out and beat up a bunch of Irishmen for no reason. Then Assam had to, like, beat him up and tell him to keep his shit in line.
That was him?
That's him. This is all the same guy.
Okay.
It's just, it's the printer girl's annoying little brother.
He's just a young punk. She brought the mob into the house.
Yeah, she made a lot of money.
Well,
She did. But then the Dick Squad took it.
Didn't the mob kind of invite themselves in?
A little bit, yeah.
You don't turn your back on the dick.
I mean, let's be real about that, because the mob...
Did they have a choice?
She didn't really have much choice in the whole thing.
Yeah. Her father's being a dick, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I didn't like him in this scene. I felt really bad
when
for
your
him.
children fall to the wayside
for
poor choices, sometimes you got to cut them loose. I can relate a little bit.
That's a little dark. That's a little dark.
Yeah,
my family's been through the same thing. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're like, you know what?
Like, you got some. You got to go think about some
fix
things.
your shit and then come back.
Fix your shit for a few years. We'll see you later.
Yeah. But after Yanmi gets disowned by her father and kicked out, she goes to meet Assam at the train station like they had agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
And because Assam is waylaid, he never shows up.
But
you know who does show up?
The saddest part about that was that it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
And because he was totally out.
So
yeah.
Do we talk about what kept Assam from getting there, or do we talk
he got
about
hit by that hammer?
Well, he got knocked the fuck out.
Well, let's finish up Yanmi's story before we get back to Assam.
Okay.
So Assam does not meet her at the train station, but Chow does.
Yeah, Chow's there with his duffel bag, looking at his clock, going like, "Oh God, I gotta get out of here."
He's like, "This motherfucker said he would be on time.
I know, right?
I told him don't be late. I really want to double cross him. It's not my fault. This is who I am. God damn it!" And then he leaves with the bag.
Yeah.
We think he's just gonna bounce with the money.
He goes to the train
but
station
he
to
meets Yanmi and he gives her the money.
And he gives her some advice too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says something about, I can't remember exactly what he says.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want to leave because she wants to go find him. And Chow's like, if you don't get on that train, you're dead.
Yeah. Basically, Chow's like, I've been exactly where you are right now. And his advice is basically get on that train, forget all this stuff, forget Awesome, and just start over.
Mhm.
He's like, do not look back.
Yeah.
You know, you have a choice here. And it's like, you can either go and get deeper into this, or you can leave and start anew.
Yeah.
And so she takes his advice, which is good advice for a change, and gets on that train. And as the train is leaving, Chow's watching her go, and he's
You
very
see a
happy.
figure
Yeah.
in the
I knew
shadows
it.
right
In the
behind
background.
Chow.
I
And I
was-
was like, who the fuck's
I'm like,
that?
it's
Yeah.
too. I'm like sitting here, it's too quiet. It's too
Uh-huh,
quiet. Anytime they
uh-huh.
have a camera and it's on Chow and it's just like hanging out, and I'm like, you're too low. Nope. There's not a
Yeah.
cut. It's got to cut. If it doesn't cut, he's dead.
Something's happening.
Fuck. This dude in a trench coat and a
He's
hat
like,
just starts
excuse
like
me.
prison
Yeah,
shanking
prison
him.
shanks.
He's
Chow.
like, how you been, old friend? Go, 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 go.
And then Chow. Oh my god,
And
dude.
it turns out
Yeah.
Zing.
Zing is back.
Zing.
The funnest guy has
The
returned.
All season we've been like, where's Zing?
Yeah, would they
Did
forget
he
about that?
escape?
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw it? Was the
In
finale?
Alcatraz.
It was
Yeah,
the finale of
They
season
set
2.
up that he was escaping from prison, and they never talked about it again.
Not a single thing.
He's looking good.
He's looking-
He's got
the
a
haircut?
fresh haircut,
Yep.
suit.
Still got
Got
those
a nice
dumbass,
hat.
those
Mhm.
dumbass face tattoos.
Well, I can't get rid of those.
Yeah, but so like the return of the funnest guy, Zing, prison shanking Chow, leaving him on that train platform to die.
Oh, so stressful.
And
Not dead.
Not dead.
Not dead yet. So like
Mostly dead.
mostly dead. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
So there's
But
a
a flesh wound.
there's a chance Chow can survive and come back and stuff like that. And I really hope that that's the case. I hope that Hoon Lee isn't leaving for another show or something like that.
Chow's like,
So
to blade.
nobody important actually died in this episode.
You were playing cards, and he cheated on you. He owes you money.
Yeah, he double crossed you with some counterfeit money. And, But it turns out that, so like we found out that the actor who plays Zing is actually a director for the series. So like he's directed a couple episodes of
that's
the
cool.
show. Yeah. So he wasn't
He was
going
there
anywhere.
all
Yeah, he was
along.
there all along.
In the
You
background.
only had to believe.
Yeah. It was
But when Zing reappeared, I got out of my seat. I was like, yes,
dude.
yes,
My
what a
jaw
great reveal.
hit the floor. I was like, holy
I had a
shit.
sore throat after I watched this. I was screaming so much.
That was a moment, man. I did not see
I
that
just kind
coming.
of sat there in silence and I went, wow, that just happened.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Holy shit.
Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, that's one of those reveals that's so satisfying
Yeah.
that like when a show pulls that off, you're just like, oh my God, that was so good.
Because you go through this thing, Chow, to me, Chow is like C-3PO and R2-D2.
Just the
This show.
storyteller.
He's the storyteller of all
Yeah.
this. To me, he's
I can see
he's
that.
the narrator of the show.
Mhm.
So he's untouchable. He can't die. He's just kind of like in everything.
Because he's in with everybody.
Right.
He knows all the
it's
stories.
like so when they like are teasing that he's done, I'm kind of freaking out internally a little bit.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I get it. Yeah. Especially if you see him as the storyteller.
But
How is this gonna affect their
blasted
official
a couple
podcast?
times. So it's weird.
what was that?
I said R2 got blasted a couple times. And C-3PO said his memory wiped.
Yeah. A New Hope. He
So
gets
I
blown
guess
up.
we'll go through it. We'll be okay.
It's an interesting comparison.
Yeah, I kind of.
It's not
I
inaccurate.
just
though.
came up with it.
It's
but-
good. It's good.
Yeah, he's the narrator of the show.
You're not
because
wrong.
he touches everything.
Mhm.
So
He needs a sidekick then.
man, that would be kind of funny.
He needs a little short, stubby sidekick.
Yeah,
And
maybe like a kid.
maybe like a kid.
Yeah,
A little short round.
like a little lone wolf and cub thing going on with Chow. That'd be funny.
Well, Chow, I mean, if he recovers from these injuries, he's going to need some help.
Chow
gonna
does
need some help. He's
have
gonna-
a kid.
But yeah,
does
but
have his little daughter.
but no, he doesn't
She's
anymore.
she's
She's
gone.
gone. He doesn't
Yeah.
know where she is.
She's off in Duckland
Yeah.
with the rich white people.
Yeah, it. I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't think they would have the stones to pull something like this off. It's good. It's a really good way to end this, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. You guys
Not
right
even
on
a
that.
little
And
bit.
it could go either way. So like if season 4 happens and Chow's not there, it's like, oh, he died.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
he survived somehow and they're bringing him back and him and Zing are going to have like a really great storyline going forward.
Yeah.
But this brings us to what is the culmination of 3 seasons of buildup,
Yep.
which is basically Awesome wakes back up. He finds out that he's been out for like 3 to 6 hours, I think. And he notices that the Hopway are getting ready to go after My Ling.
Yeah, they're all getting armored
Suited
up.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Suited and hatcheted up.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Young Jun, and Young Jun basically forces him to make a decision. He's like, you're either with us or you're with Mai Ling.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
kinda-
like, I'm
I'm
not going to
kinda-
make you kill her,
I'm upset.
but I
right
do want you to stand aside while I kill her. And Asam's
Yeah,
like,
I
ugh, give me
can't.
those fucking nunchucks.
Fuck, you can see it too, and he's
Yeah.
like, God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, and so
Because he want like all this season, he's been talking about taking down Mai Ling. I'm gonna get revenge on Mai Ling. She almost killed me. Yada yada yada. But it's all just flapping his lips.
when push comes to shove, Young Jun's instincts were right. Awesome chooses his sister
Yep.
over his surrogate brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, Young Jun orders his men to kill Awesome, and Awesome kills all of them. But we get a fight between Hong
Mm-hmm.
and Awesome,
The three best friends.
the three best friends,
Yeah.
and Young Jun and Awesome finally throw down.
Yep.
And boy, oh boy,
Yeah.
was this an
Dude.
amazing fight.
Incredible. Go ahead.
So it took Hong and Young Jun.
To take down this. Well, not even.
And
take
they
down.
didn't. They lost. They didn't win.
And
Yeah.
he fought like 20 dudes before it, too.
And Awesome had already gone through the whole Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he had already gotten his ass kicked
By the cop.
Yeah.
prior.
He's
Yeah.
concussed for
So,
sure.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Hong and Young Jun couldn't take down an Awesome who was operating at maybe 25%.
That's pretty crazy.
Maybe, right?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with these two, it's like, I'm upset with Young Jun. Fuck that guy.
Why?
Because, like, you know, when I used to be like really I was upset with Buckley for making me like have empathy for him and kind of like the guy.
Because it's Buckley's
But
fault.
now,
Are you rooting for Young Jun?
now I'm upset because I kind of liked Young Jun and now I have to hate him.
You can root against Assam. It's
And
okay.
no, I don't want to because I like Hassan, but it's like the way they twist and turn, and now I have to root against Hong and Young Jun now.
That's the tough one.
and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Being mad at Hong.
yeah.
Because Hong.
And he's kind of a stupid little simp boy, right? It's like, okay, boss, you know, do
Well,
whatever
that's
you
his
say.
life,
I
though.
know, it
Right, because
so annoys
think
me.
about it from Hong's perspective, and we're gonna go down a Hong little rabbit hole right now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he gets off the boat and he immediately joins the Tong. Like he was sent there to
and
join
he's
this
so
Tong.
excited to have friends.
Well, then-
He's so excited to get out of China because China was so restrictive
I thought Hong got sent over by the Chinese
for Father
top
Jun.
boy for Father Jun.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
So he's like, I'm finally in
so
America.
shouldn't he be more loyal to whoever's
Tong.
really in charge over in China?
No, he's loyal to the Tong, which is Young Jun, and
He's got that
to
brand.
a fault. Like
Well,
Just-
also what makes this fight so poignant is the fact that like we care about all these characters. We come to
Yeah.
identify them
We've
over the course of
watched
3
them
seasons.
become brothers.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys something? I've not been a fan of Hong's little side story this season. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
It was a little boy toy thing at Moulin Rouge. Like whatever. It means nothing. Do you think if they didn't have that in there, that this fight would be less gut wrenching? Because if Hong hadn't had like a handful of scenes where we kind of get to know him a little bit, and then we see him fight Assam, do you think it would have been more poignant, less poignant?
I think we needed to get to know him a little bit more. I don't think it matters necessarily that he had like a love story or
Yeah.
how we got to know him. I think we needed to get to know him a little bit more. But I think what's really important here is that he fell in love, and that has been destroyed. So now all he has
Is the Tong.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, and
All right.
and he obviously looks up to Awesome and cares about the guy and doesn't want to fight him, but when push comes to shove, he's like, I gotta fight him.
yeah.
And the weird thing about this fight is that so like you care about all the major 3 combatants involved, and you're like, oh my god, someone's gonna win, right? But the interesting thing is that Awesome isn't fighting to kill.
Yeah.
He's just fighting to disable, but
Mhm.
like the other 2 are fighting to kill.
Yeah.
And they all have different fighting styles, and we see like how like they clash because basically Young Jun has the knives, Hong has like the whip,
Mhm.
and Awesome just has his fist. Like he actually throws the nunchucks away and just takes them on like mano a mano.
Yeah.
And it's got so much emotion kind of attached to this fight and the outcome of the fight. And Awesome does not just run away with this fight. Like he gets messed up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
big time.
Oh yeah, Young
Dude.
Jun. I think punctures his
Yeah,
lung
there's
at one
a
point.
scene where like they're fighting and then Young Jun gets knocked down and then the camera like pans away and Awesome's just sitting there like, holy shit, I'm freaking tired.
So
And
are
then
we done yet?
As it pans away, you see the freaking knife stuck in his side and I'm like, oh shit! Like I was
Yeah.
like
But that
freaking
means
out during the
forgot.
scene.
Jun
So-
still has a knife.
Yeah.
We're knocking that 25% down to 15%.
Oh, he's almost dead.
Yeah.
Well,
Mostly.
The power meter is going way down.
yeah, but by that point he had taken Hong out of the equation, so it was just him and Young Jun.
Yeah,
Real quick. Go ahead.
I was saying, was it surprising how easy Hong went
Hong's
down?
a good fighter against drunk Irishmen. He's not a good fighter against Assam. But I love that, like, he's using his chain, right? He's whipping his chain around, and Assam just catches
Grabs it.
and he's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, like as soon as he was able to kind of disarm Hong and basically fight him fist to fist, like
The
Hong was
1-inch
at a
punch.
disadvantage.
You see the
Yeah.
1-inch punch he did on
Oh, yeah.
Hong,
Yes.
too?
Yeah.
How
That was
dope
wild.
was that? He catches him, and they make eye contact, and he looks down, and he just goes, "Bah!" And he goes flying across the fucking room.
That was some pie made
I'm like,
shit.
oh, shit.
Well, that's the Bruce Lee shit right
Yeah,
there.
that's Bruce Lee.
Damn.
Primate wishes he was Bruce Lee. No, that was dope. That was cool as shit. I liked it.
So basically, what happens is Awesome defeats Young Jun, but instead of killing him, because Young Jun pulls a Father Jun, he's like, "You better kill me now."
Mhm.
He just
do it.
knocks him out,
Yeah.
and then, as wounded as he is, Awesome realizes that Mai Ling is still in danger, and
Yeah.
so like he starts trying to make his way there to.
He's like, wait a minute.
Long
That
Z
wasn't
territory.
all of the hopway.
Yeah.
I better run.
So while they were distracting Awesome, the other part of the Hopway went to assassinate Mai Ling.
Mhm.
And Mai Ling finds out that the few guards that were still loyal to her have been taken out by the Hopway. And so now we're in a situation where she has no protection. It's just her. So she grabs a gun and she takes on the remaining attackers.
I'm frustrated with her because she is so incapable of protecting herself. Like, when remember
I
early,
wanted her to have multiple guns.
Right,
Like, I
yeah.
wanted her to have the wrist gun that she got from Chow.
yeah,
And just like, because she has to have some defenses. She can't just be like, oh, my husband's got this.
right, yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's what I
she's
was
going to have
expecting
to
more.
be able to defend herself.
Yeah.
And she does okay with one gun, but I wanted her to be like more, like, I wanted her to be like, I can't fight, but I sure as shit can shoot. And I've got
Right.
all these guns.
But
Yeah.
but you know the thing about that is that because she was at such a disadvantage, the entire scene, I was like,
Oh,
oh
on
my
the edge of my
god,
seat.
she's going to die.
Yeah.
I thought for
They're
sure
going to kill her off.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that she was going to die. Like that. So, like, skipping forward a little bit, she takes on like what 4 or 5 Hopway, and then
she
the one
takes
dude.
out like 6 guys with her gun, and
Yeah.
Does
then one guy she
grabs
has like an
her,
actual fight
and
with.
yeah, she has a fight to the death, and like she's getting drowned in this like little pond
Mhm.
that she has in her house,
Her little koi pond.
her little koi pond, and she's being drowned in. And then the scene cuts, and you go back to Assam.
Well, before it cuts, though, we see her pull a knife out of her boot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, oh, I don't know if she made it or
I
not.
feel like I
Right.
need to
They
start sleeping
could've.
with boots on now.
At this point, I just was it's like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they killed her
When-
or
yeah.
anybody in this show at this point.
When
It's
they
like,
cut to Assam running, and then they cut back when he runs into her house and he sees her laying down,
Yeah.
and she looks
You're
like
like,
she's dead.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
You're
was like,
damn, how big
oh
is
my
Chinatown?
God.
Because
Oh
he's
my
been running for a while.
holy shit, they
Well,
just killed my leg.
He's
I
been
was-
running with like 12 gaping open wounds, so like
Yeah.
it makes sense. It took him a while to
yeah,
get
but
there.
Chinatown isn't that big.
not that big.
It's
Mm-mm.
not.
A couple
But-
blocks. But I
a
was
lot
just,
of hills.
Yeah. Oh.
I was genuinely convinced that they killed her off.
Yeah.
When they pan that camera angle over to her and she was just laying there, eyes open, not breathing. I was like, oh my God, they freaking killed her. and then she starts to twitch and move, and then Assam goes and picks her up, and I'm
Right.
like,
Then we have
"Ah!"
that
And she's not sure, like, if he has also come to
Oh,
kill
yeah,
her, or
yeah.
if that's like my brother.
Yeah.
then they embrace,
And then
and then we have that long pan out
Yeah.
shot.
and it's
I'm like, oh man, season 4.
It's fucking
the revenge.
the
It's
family
gonna be
versus the
wild.
world.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
saw.
Yeah. So what's great here is that over the course of 3 seasons, because Awesome, when he came to America, his goal was to reunite with his sister and protect her. And so 3 seasons later, this is the culmination of that storyline where the siblings are back together. The whole world is against them. They're the only ones that they have.
Yep.
And so if we go to a season 4, it's going to be Awesome and Mai Ling versus the world.
Yeah.
And it's going to be epic.
I'm
And her
freaking here
husband.
for it.
And her husband.
Her husband's not in the picture anymore.
We're going to get to
Oh,
him.
we'll get to him
We're
in a
gonna get to him in a
Very
minute.
as much
Not
so
in her
the
picture anymore.
Mhm.
I misspoke. He is definitely in the
He's got
picture.
a new jacket to
Let's
wear.
just talk about it. Since we're already talking about it now. But yeah, so the scene ends, credits roll. We get the freaking dope ass, music that always plays at the end of every
Dun, dun,
episode.
dun. Oh, wait.
No,
Dun,
they do like a
dun,
different
dun,
rap
dun,
song.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
They do a different rap song at the end credits for like I don't know.
Every week's a
Every
different
week's a
rap
different rap song, which is awesome. I love it. I want the playlist. And then we cut to a bunch of the the Long Z.
Long Z.
Yeah, so basically, Lee Yong is at a medicine man shop, and he's having like his wounds treated from like the fight that he had
With the Iron Chef.
With the Iron Chef.
I mean, but to set this up, the entire episode,
He's missing.
we're going, where the fuck is
dude.
Long Z at?
Lee
Lee
Yong.
Yong, I mean, it's just, so let me do that again. This entire episode, we're wondering, where the fuck is Long
Lee Yong.
God.
This
Bloopers.
entire
This will be on the
episode,
bloopers.
this entire episode, we're wondering where in the fuck Lee Yong
There you
is.
go.
It's just insane to me. I'm like, where is he? What's
Dude,
going on?
I fully expected to see him kicking ass when Mai Ling was up against the ropes.
Yeah.
But the fact that he
I
wasn't.
thought for sure he was going to come in and save her.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of pleased
I'm
at how
very.
this ended up because, last episode, I'm like, he's just the world's biggest cuck.
He left her.
He's
straight
the
up left her,
worst,
dude.
He's the worst dude because it's all about the girl. It's just like, come on, man. Throw some stones.
I do want it.
Yeah.
And
he didn't come back.
He didn't come back.
He didn't come back.
Very,
He's like-
very pleased with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see him getting his wounds treated at a medicine shop when the remaining Long Z soldiers come in, and it looks like for a minute they're gonna fight, and then all the Long Zs take their coats off and say like, "Hey, we're with you now."
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this fucking guy, he's been in every episode.
He's died 100 times.
He's died like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. Assam has kicked the living shit out of this guy at least 4 times this season.
Yeah.
And he shows up all the time. I don't know. I guarantee you he's one of the top tier stunt guys.
mean, does Lee Young even want him in the Tom
He
then?
probably works his ass off for the show itself,
Yeah.
but every time I see him, I'm like, I've seen you die. Like, I've seen a hatchet go through your neck
It's
at
hilarious.
least twice.
In one episode, he has like face tattoos.
Right,
In the
yeah,
next
yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
he's got his coat on.
I'm like,
So Lee Yong basically takes over the remainder of the Long Z,
yeah.
and I think they're
They're no
form
longer
a-
the Long Z.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now they're going to be the Lee Yongs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Lee Yongs. And as he's walking them down Chinatown, we get the music cue from the first season where basically the final episode of the season finale of season 1, we saw Awesome leading the
Hopway?
Popway
yeah.
down the street, owning Chinatown. And it was a Chinese version of the Reservoir Dogs song.
Oh.
Right? Okay.
Where it kind of shows like the team kind of like going to do their thing.
Mhm.
And so like they did this again, but this time instead of Awesome leading the gang, it's
Lee Yong.
Lee Yong.
Yeah.
So it was a cool little music cue to kind of tie everything together, just like the Big Lebowski's rug just ties the room together. So
Yeah.
and that's how this episode ends. And they've set the stage for a season 4 so well with like every single character,
Yep.
every single storyline. When this episode ended, I was so satisfied. I was like,
Yeah.
finally, like
Yeah.
a good ending to a great show, and I'm looking forward to like more of it.
Right.
I want more of it right now. It's very rare to find that on
We
TV.
don't get that anymore.
Not very often. Especially not in
And
this.
when they do try to do it, they do a really poor job of it.
Yeah.
So it's very satisfying. This whole season was satisfying.
Yeah.
I mean, is that very
I know
satisfying?
we always
But yeah,
we always make the comparison to Game of Thrones.
yeah
for this
it's-
show.
It's very
And-
Game of Thronesy.
It's like
It's even got red
early-
weddings and stuff in it.
early
you know?
seasons of Game of Thrones made me feel the same way that this show feels
Yeah.
when I'm like, holy shit, what's gonna happen next? I want to know what happens to this character and this faction and this person's doing this over here and that's gonna interact with this and
Right.
Buckley's being betrayed and he's gonna go on the rampage. Like, there's so much happening in this show
Hope-
that I want to see continued. I haven't felt like this after watching a show since like season 3 of Game of Thrones or whenever they killed Ned Stark, that I was like, what the fuck?
Well-
Like, this show, not that it's like exactly like Game of Thrones, because the storyline's obviously very different. There's all that stuff, but like the way it makes me feel when I'm watching it, I'm like, hell, finally we have a show that's like doing the same type of thing. So I'm all here for it, man. This was a fantastic ending. My jaw was on the floor multiple times. God, I hope freaking Chow survives. It's nuts, man. Well done across the board.
We've been waiting for Awesome and Mylene to get together for
Yeah, for 2 episodes or 2 seasons
30
now.
episodes.
Yeah.
Now. So I'm interested to see how that goes down.
And the showdown between Young Jun. Like, how far have we seen Young Jun come since season 1?
Yeah.
Holy crap. He started off as just like a normal.
Well, that's why I'm upset
man.
that I'm going to have to root against him now.
Do you have to though?
You kind of do. Kind of.
Bros before hoes.
You know.
Come on, man. Assam put bros.
It's his sister.
Oh, that makes it different.
It does.
It's family.
It makes a huge difference. If she was just some.
She tried to kill him.
If she was just some like.
Blood versus bros.
If she was just some like piece with a really, she was like a really nice piece of ass.
Yeah.
It'd be different. Like, yeah,
Okay.
No,
It's a sister.
It's a sister.
Yeah. Got to protect the sister.
For sure.
That's,
I get
that's
it.
wild, man. That's because I don't like what they. Okay, so Assam no longer has the hop way, and Mai Ling no longer has the long Z. They are literally on their own. Who do they have? Buckley?
They have the fun guys.
They betrayed the fun guys.
No, I'm just joking.
I mean,
was
you
gonna
gotta
say.
remember though. I mean, Austin has that giant mural in town. He can just go, "Hey, I need some dudes." Maybe he can.
You think so?
Maybe some people.
Well, no, he becomes Batman now. He's basically
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He becomes
I
the
don't know.
lone wolf. Just chaos ensued. Just
It'll be.
freaking throwing
I
wrenches in
don't know
people's
how
plans.
they're gonna give them some
I don't
actual
either.
power because, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting
Crazy.
because
This was so much fun. I had a
Mhm.
blast this season.
I'm so sad it's over.
Me
I know,
too.
me too. Yeah.
we need to thank those guys for hooking us up.
Go for it.
Thanks
That's
Jonathan Tropper and Max and those people over there for giving us the ability to see these before everybody else with the screeners and be able to drop these reviews day of. It's
Yeah.
important. It's a big thing. You
Yeah.
know, it kind of sets us apart from a lot of people, and I greatly appreciate that. And I think we're developing some really cool relationships with the people on the show, just very similar to how we did with C.
Mhm.
You know,
Some of them are the same people, but
some
that's
of them
fine.
are the same people, and that helps. That
Team
definitely
Tropper.
helps. This,
Team
you know,
Trapper. Yeah.
it's like I made a comment earlier today on social media. This is a special show for us, and it is.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad that you decided that you pushed us to watch this show. You said, 2 years ago, we really should watch Warrior. It's a really good show, guys. And we're like, but we did it.
You were a
Man,
little bit of a bitch
I
about
was
it.
a little bit of a bitch
A little
about
bit.
it. I was a little bit cunty about it, not gonna lie. But I really like this show. It's like one of probably my top 5 shows
Yeah.
I've ever watched on TV ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just really good. I'm not gushing. I am gushing, but I'm being genuine. This is a really good show.
Yeah.
And it stands out in this day and age of really subpar entertainment content. Because there's a lot of shit out there.
Oh, yeah. They
And
fill the streaming
this
services
is
with nonsense.
such a cream of the crop. It could survive in
Super
any
underrated.
era of HBO. This thing could go against.
Yeah,
So,
it really needs more attention. And we should also give a special shout out to Joe Taslim,
Yeah.
who's been kind of championing us, behind the scenes over in the Warrior camp.
He
Because
makes us feel like we're the official podcast.
His cat really likes our show.
yeah, you want to explain that one?
So Joe, who has 1.4 million followers
Yeah,
on
he
Instagram,
plays Leon, on the show.
Leon on the show.
Who? What?
Leon.
Yeah.
He's apparently a fan of our show, so thank you, Joe, so much. But he posted on Instagram. But yeah, he took a video of him sitting in his living room with my freaking ugly face on his
that was-
giant TV, and his cat was like pawing at it, and he's like, "I love this podcast, and so does my cat." And I'm like,
Aw,
dude,
that's a nice TV.
it's a really nice house. It looks great. But I DM'd him after that because he tagged me, and I DM'd him. I'm like, bro, I'm supposed to watch you on TV. You're not supposed to
Yeah.
watch. I belong on a 6-inch iPhone screen. Like that's it. Like don't. What are you doing here? This is nuts. But
I'm
it's
hideous compared to you.
but it's super cool, and we love the guys that work on this show, guys and girls, all the team Tropper as I call them, that create the show for us.
I think it's a real shame that like the actors strikes and stuff like that happened as the show was playing, because
Yeah.
like they really should be out there like promoting the shit out of this show,
Mhm.
because it's that good. Like
Yeah.
more people need to be like, everyone who starts watching this show, they're like, oh my God, it's so good. Like I see it on Twitter all the time.
Yep.
It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I just started watching Warrior and oh my God, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
like, yes.
We have fans of our show from before we started reviewing this going like, oh, you guys finally convinced me to watch Warrior, and it's freaking amazing. I'm like, yeah, I know.
And now how many fan pages for Warrior on Instagram? And I'm like, I'm so glad there are now like actual like fan pages
Yeah.
for this show because it needs it.
Yep.
It deserves it.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
everybody's out there, talking about crappy Star Wars movies, and
Who gives a
we're
shit?
no give a shit.
Oh, a fake Andrew Koji slid into my DMs the other day.
Get out.
I swear.
Are you sure he was fake?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because at first it like it got me, and it was like, oh, Andrew Koji wants to send you a message, and I was like, oh fuck yeah! I was like, oh, that's great, and it was like, hi dear. Thank you for support. It wasn't even like proper English, and I was like, "He's British, motherfucker." And then I looked at the name, and there was like a hyphen in it where there's not in his actual
Andrew's
Instagram, and
verified.
there was no blue check mark, and I was like, "Oh fuck you, man."
Yeah, Koji's verified on Instagram for sure, but he reached out to us. Maybe I should.
Hey, you know, if you're,
which is why it got me, because I was like, "Oh my god, that's so nice," and then I was like, "Oh fuck you."
Oh,
but I've had a blast. This was a great season. I'm glad we're reviewing the show. I hope we get more seasons of it, and I hope the strike works out. I hope the actors get what they want. I hope the writers get what they want, so that we can get these guys back to work and get some more content. Because I don't want to wait 3 freaking years. You know, this show, it's like the show itself is just as much of an underdog as some of the characters in it.
Yeah.
Because season 1, it was kind of on Cinemax. Nobody really knew about it. Season 2 had to go through like. COVID was like at the very end of season 2.
Well, you know,
it's had some hurdles to jump through.
I don't feel like this show has a huge turnaround from filming to being shown to us. Unlike a lot of these other shows, you know, it's like a couple of years. I think this show
there's not a lot of special effects,
yeah.
like visual effects in the show in terms of like computer generation.
Because I feel like we were told, you know, we learned about season 3 before they announced it, and it felt like it was a really quick. It's like, hey, we're doing this, and then next thing you know, like 6 months later, that's on TV, and I'm like, damn, that was fast.
Yeah. So I hope we get season 4 soon. That'd be great. But thank you all so much for the support, and thank you for, if you're on the cast and crew, thank you for watching our stuff and commenting. You guys are great. Keep up the good work. And Joe also said to me, don't ever sugarcoat anything.
We don't.
We don't. I told him, like, we pride ourselves on not sugarcoating anything.
Unless Vader has had all of the alcohols, and then he's like, "That's my best friend." This whole show's my best friend. This is my best friend.
Because he's like, you know, it helps us to learn and to be better and to keep us on our toes. And I'm like, trust me, dude. If there's some bullshit happening, we will talk about it.
Y'all got any satellite dishes?
As I said, there's no satellite dishes used for doors in this thing. So
yeah. Like one thing we pride ourselves on is just honesty. Like even if we have like connections to like a show or production, like we don't shy away from being honest about
we bust each other's balls and we love each other, so of course we're gonna bust yours.
It's like Chopper will bust our balls back, and we're like, yeah, okay.
He's so
I do want to know, like you said earlier, though, what kind of wormhole teleportation technology Bill uses to get around town.
Fast travel's a problem.
When you get the chief badge, you get a wormhole.
Why don't people use more horses? If he would have rode up on a horse, I'd have been like, oh, of course.
He flew on his dragon.
They're like, don't make us do horse stunts, please, God.
Oh, yeah. Horses are notoriously hard to work with.
Yeah, a guy without a face. They're like, I recognize that guy. He used to work on the force. It's like, God damn it, you're right.
All right, folks. That's it. Final thoughts on this season, V.
Good stuff, man.
Good shit.
Can't wait till season 4.
Cool.
2 thumbs up.
Right on. 2 thumbs up. From you, that's a lot. Because you're pretty nitpicky about your stuff.
More boobs.
You want more Cinemax?
There was a lack of boobs this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
We got Not a Ginger. She's covered up, but
I don't want to see no brunette.
It was not Skinamax level.
I want more Larissa.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I need more Skinamax.
Larissa Jordan, right? Larissa Jordan is the German prostitute.
The tattooed German.
Bring her back.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. I want her to have her own gang.
The German gang. I'd love to see like Young June import her in next season.
Oh, has she did it because he forced her?
Oh, because he's in love with her?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Lady June. Yeah.
Yeah. All the guys are like,
Frau June. Frau June.
Yeah. And they still can't talk to each other because she speaks German.
And she just doesn't give a shit.
She just beats the shit out of him every night.
Every Hopway member, she just beats the shit out of.
And he just like brushes her hair and he's like, I love you so fucking much.
She's the only one who can beat Awesome in a fight.
Yes.
Defeats him with her vagina.
She just smacks him with her tits.
Death by snoo.
Oh shit!
Oh, please give us season 4.
Yeah, Jude, go ahead. Final thoughts on this.
I mean that's what I wanted to say. I want Larissa back next year.
Yeah.
I want more redheaded prostitutes next year.
Yeah, where the hell did that go?
Yeah. Did he kill them all?
I think he killed them all.
I definitely. I mean, I just want a season 4. I love this show so much. I'm so glad we got a season 3. So thank you, Max, for bringing it back for a third season. Please keep bringing it back for more seasons. This show is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Agreed. Kadish, final thoughts on season?
Yeah, this season, it's like a typical 3-act play. So like if you watch all 3 seasons, like it's so satisfying. I haven't felt this way since I saw like The Wire, because The Wire is a 5-season show. And if you watch it from the first episode to the last episode, all through 5 seasons, you feel like you've digested a complete story. And most shows are just kind of like they fly by the seat of their pants, but it really feels like there's a plan here, because like there's so much setup and payoff in these 3 seasons. And this season was the culmination of a lot of stuff. So far, it sounds like things are looking good for a season 4. So hopefully like they do bring it back. And when they do bring it back, I would like to find out what the fuck happened to Penny and Sophie, because they were completely absent this season.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of my best friend, Dean Jagger, being the Godfather.
He's the new, the new leader of the whole, like, he's in on the rich side now.
Yep. And Awesome and Mai Ling, the dynamic duo, it's going to be interesting to see like how they fare, especially now that the Hopway are against them and the new Long Z are against them. And Zing's back. And
Yeah,
he's got
all the tongs are torn apart.
Yeah. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to situation when if the show does come back for a season 4. And I really hope it does. But I know that according to the trades, Tropper has like a lot of irons in the fire. So like he's got some stuff going on with Apple. He's got some stuff going on with Cinemax and all this other stuff. So hopefully he finds time to actually like keep this one going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. This should be his baby, I think, but I don't know. I had a great time this season. I'm super thankful to, like Vader said, we'd like to express our thanks as a podcast for getting access to it early so we can create our reviews and have them drop day of. That's a big deal for us as content creators. And we appreciate the cast and crew having a thick skin, because we make a lot of jokes. We do a lot of weird things and say a lot of weird shit, but
we don't hold back, do we?
We don't hold back. And I don't think we ever will. And that's why we'll probably never be invited to a screening ever.
I want my swag bag.
No, we're not getting swag bags.
I want my goddamn swag bag.
I want a warrior hoodie.
Listen, all you have to send me is the leather vest thing that young June wears to hold his knives.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the Lee's Dick uniform, and I was like, whoa, I can't have you in the office in that.
I'll take that too.
No, I cannot have you in that, in my presence.
Just need something cool to put on the wall. That's all I want.
No, Jude is powerless against the Dick uniform.
The Dick uniform. Oh my God, it gets me.
It's just a black suit, dude.
It doesn't matter. He's got the thing across it.
With the badge.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah, more Tom Jones. And tell that guy to get on Instagram, because I want to send him a DM.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really cool. And for all of our followers that joined us for this show, or people who have followed us before and they found out about the show and they're
Stay
like, thanks.
tuned for Invasion.
Welcome.
We'll be here. The next show on our list is Invasion.
Oh, God.
So if you really want to see us not hold back,
Yeah.
that's the place to be.
This is us talking about a show we like.
Yeah.
That's going to be us talking about a show we hate. So, buckle up.
But
Get the vodka ready.
But remember,
Yeah.
season 1 of C was bonkers. Season 2 got so much better that we were like, wait a minute.
I think
Is that going to happen again?
I think
I hope
you're too hopeful.
Yeah, season 2 of C had Tropper going for it. This
Yeah.
one
Invasion doesn't have Tropper.
It's the same guy from season 1.
Yeah.
Pretty sure ChatGPT wrote that show. Let's wrap
ChatGPT
this
probably
up.
would have done a better job. Anyway, stay sticky.
Yeah. Siri, can someone swim in space?
Oh, Jesus. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We've enjoyed the ride. I hope you enjoyed the ride as well. Stay sticky. We'll see you next season.
Stay sicky.
Stay sticky.
Yeah.
Or sicky, whichever you prefer.
Syphilis.
Syphilis.
There we go. Pay it off. Set up, pay off. We're out. Fade to black.